Uh, what happened tonight, bro? Another domination at the location by the Cherries, bruv.
Bro, tonight we confirmed that we are Cindy Lauper FC. You can run, you can hide if you don't like it. Time after time that they never failed to disappoint us. Never failed to disappoint. Bro, legitly, I think there was enough tools in that team to get a result today. But Postecoglou is not about this life. I know we don't want to blame the manager. I know it's systemic of the club. But if you can't motivate the players to beat Bournemouth, the stadium is smaller than bloody Colchester. If you can't motivate this team to beat Ipswich,
is he supposed to put pom-poms on and dance around? How are you supposed to motivate?
We are Cindy Lauper FC, time after time. And I was with Hussam the other day, and on his channel, what did I say? I said we lose to Bournemouth, right? I said we lose to Bournemouth. My standards have been lowered. That I was hoping to be surprised today. And guess what? These brothers didn't surprise me. They did exactly what we knew that they were going to do. Bro, the truth of the matter is, we are in the mud. I actually thought that this brother could do it. I'm glad that Jacob is also seeing the light. Henry's always been on the right-hand side of this thing. Do you get what I'm saying? He always knew Wagwan from the beginning. I have to sit here and take L's. I'm having to take beatings upon beatings for describing Tottenham as a team that should be performing. But these brothers never let us down. We are Cindy Lauper FC. We never disappoint.
Can I ask you a question, Des? Can I ask you a question? Because you said now I'm on the right side of something. I'm not on any side of anything. I just speak my thoughts and my opinions. And I'll say this: am I to blame Ainge for when Son picks up the ball, has two men on him, and he could either pass it or do anything with it, and what he does is lose the ball time after time, like Cindy Lauper? Is that Ainge's fault? That Son's touch that he comes off the bench and his first impact is almost a goal, but he's offside and he doesn't think he is? Like, who am I to blame for that? That sounds like the player failed me. These players have failed at the... I'm sorry.
The manager has to have foresight, has to have vision. I said in the summer, get rid of Son, because I want to remember Son that was on top form. What I don't want to be seeing is I don't want to be abusing Son. What really pissed me off tonight, if I can be honest, was when Timo Werner had that opportunity and Postecoglou threw his arms in the air like he was surprised. No! How can you be surprised? This brother's been doing nothing. He's been doing nothing. You're bringing them on. You knew when Timo Werner and Bergvall came.
What other attacker should he have brought on in that moment? Will Lancashire?
You knew it was rubbish. You knew
what other attacker was he supposed to bring on?
Huh?
What other attacker was he supposed to bring on in that moment?
No, sometimes you don't need to bring on anyone. It's crap. We were always going to lose.
But if he didn't bring on anyone, then you'd be saying he didn't make a sub. So it's either he's damned, if he does make the sub, he didn't make the right one. If he doesn't make the sub, oh, he's clueless, he didn't make the sub. I feel like he's tried many different ways. He's adapted in many different areas. And at the end of the day, the players continually fail him. So they failed managers before. There's been the leadership group that's failed managers before. Dyer and Kane and Doherty on camera with Dave Portnoy talking about, oh, you never won anything. And they're laughing like they're at a Miley Cyrus concert. That's a mentality, like Terry has said. There's been a toxic problem at this club that has transcended any manager. So whether it's, I believe Ainge is or isn't the problem is irrelevant, because the club is the problem and the way that we recruit is a problem. The fact that when we have injuries and then Timo Werner is the only option we have because Mikey Moore has something we don't know, but I don't understand. Like we bought Jed Spence for Antonio Conte, and the first thing he said was, "I don't want him. Get him out of here." And then he's hopped club to club to club, and Spurs fans didn't even want him. And now Spurs fans are saying, "Oh, why doesn't he play Jed Spence?" It's really weird to me. I like to keep the same energy as well, and like I understand you may think it's Ainge's fault for not motivating the players. I don't see where a coach is supposed to be up. As a player who's played competitively, I've never enjoyed my manager yelling at me while I'm trying to do the job we've been working on all week.
What I've got to say though, look, I'm not completely blaming Ange for this, but what does frustrate me about Ange is, all right, like you said, Jed Spence. Let's use the Jed Spence example. He's been sent around club after club after club, but then he did something in the summer, right? And then Ange actually brought him back into the fold, but then he doesn't play him. And it's like, okay, if you want to give Porro a break, then why don't you use the proper natural right back in that position? You know, why are you sticking what's his name? Archie Gray in there. Someone
There's
who's
probably
still
a clause
a
in his
kid,
contract. That's why.
you know, and it's frustrating to me. And also, like, for example, against Fulham, all right, Solanke came in and he would, like, literally in the last second, you saw that he's got some bug or he's ill. Why do you not play Lancashire? You're at home against a team like Fulham, and when he's played, he's done all right. Give the kid a chance. You know, I'd much rather see some of these players, so-called, they're supposed to be really talented players. Give them a chance, and then, if they're crap in the first half, then you bring, you got people. Then you'll have some first teamers on the bench to bring on the second half. Like, there are certain times, and today he waited till the 75th minute to make changes. I mean, I don't, and like he's bringing on people like, why is Timo Werner? Timo Werner, we know. He runs like
he did bring Son on in the 57th minute.
But this is what I mean.
But what I'm saying is Timo Werner shouldn't even be there.
This is where
Son should have come off of the bench and made an impact. Is my point. You were the captain.
Yeah. This is true, but I think the team. I know that Moore's out injured now, but the one thing I've said on many shows, no disrespect, there's probably a 15, 16-year-old kid in your academy somewhere that plays on the left, who's got every bit as much of a chance of delivering in a game as Timo Werner has. The man is absolutely crap. There are elements I do look at your manager at and think, well, he doesn't need.
I do think those are fair.
You know, that I just look at, there's certain players you just think they're so bad. Why are they still getting opportunities? Hussam, obviously from a neutral point of view on the game tonight, what do you think went wrong for Tottenham on the field of play?
Tottenham story is this: 20 years that there is the owner and never won something. But why? Only for the fault is only for the club or for every manager that stay here. And I have seen the manager that Tottenham had on the bench. You risk to
just saying.
No,
anyway,
get to the part where he says, because he cooks that entire conference. Get to the
part
where
I
he
know,
says,
but we're not gonna
you
play.
can
I'm
change
not
the
play
manager, but that's not going to change Tottenham. Only Tottenham can change.
I'm not gonna play 6 minutes, am I? So here's the thing. I don't think Ainge is at fault. I don't think Ainge is at fault for what's happening at Spurs right now. I watched today's game. Some of these players are just ass. I don't think Pep Guardiola could turn them into football players. You have a centre-back partnership of Dragusin and Ben Davies, and you guys have the audacity to blame Ainge Postecoglou for this shit right here. This is all on the people who make transfers. This is all on the people who buy players. The reason why Timo Werner is at this club, I know, is that's probably on Ainge a bit, but the others like the Bergvalls and the Archie Grays and the examples that Jacob used as well of the players on the bench like Reguilon and players who don't even want to be there, and the manager doesn't want them to be there, are there right now. Today, it was lucky that Bournemouth only won 1-0 because, yes, Bournemouth created a lot of chances, but a lot of them were from mistakes, like Forster being in net. Yes, I know he saved some chances, but at the same time, like, he literally created two clear-cut chances for Bournemouth by just giving them the ball. He literally just gave them the ball, like, for no reason whatsoever. You've got a inexperienced centre-back and a left-back playing at the back. And today, even then, you just conceded the goal from a set piece. But I think the players, these players, Spurs fans, I think you guys need to look at them as well. It's not just the manager, because some of these players' performances are just unexplainable. Maddison in front of goal as well. That chance, he could have scored it. Son didn't make an impact. We talk about substitutions. Son came on and he didn't really do shit. I really, there's one player I am going to say I actually feel bad for, and I think he's really playing well, and that's Solanke for me. Solanke is actually not bad at all. Solanke is actually, even today, you can see him putting the effort in, running in behind, trying to create something, trying to do something, but the players around him aren't really performing. And I just want to say,
Do you know what
Go-
Spurs
right.
reminded me of today? You know, I'm sure you're all you guys are old enough to remember Rocky 3 at the beginning. You know, and Mickey is dying, and he goes out and he just literally just gives it to Mr. T. That's what Tottenham are like. You know, there's no.
That's what he said. when he
Rocky
was
wins
dying.
in the end. Maybe you will one day win.
Great
You never
reference,
know.
by the way. Great reference. It's a
But I
fantastic
I
reference.
want to end on this. I think some of these players really there needs to be an inquisition on what the hell is going on, because the way that they're playing, it just makes no sense.
There's a question here.
And,
though,
and,
from-
and
so on that, because I want to pose this question from the viewer here, Raphael. He says, are you telling me Bournemouth has a better squad player for player than Tottenham?
no. Spurs have a better team, player for player, 100%. I think even from today's lineup, you find it difficult to find Bournemouth players to start for Spurs. Maybe like a Semenyo or like a player like that. Fair enough, like the best of the best Bournemouth players, but the rest of them aren't that good. I think this is just there was a guy on this what's his name, Mr. Box Office. He was here on the terrace, I think 2 games ago, where he called them like fair weather players. I think the term is where it's like they only play when like, you know, maybe 10 million people or 100 million people are watching Spurs versus Chelsea, so we're gonna turn up. But because it's Spurs against Bournemouth on a Thursday, who gives a fuck? And this is the thing
Oh, it was
for
raining
me.
too. Don't forget it was raining and
and
it was cold.
I'll just end on this statement. It's crazy the difference a year makes. This time last year, just think of all the shit these guys were saying on the panel. I remember, excuse me, I just forgot your name. Don't take that personally. From the 4 Spurs fans, the guy bottom left, when Chelsea beat Spurs 4-1, Orchi, you know, he was doing clown faces at me. I remember what Henry was doing last season. Jacob told me, don't talk to me until you're above me in the table. And I remember the sort of shit Deji was saying last year as well. It's crazy what a year changes. Ainge is still the same manager, but you had a shit transfer window, and some of these players are just overrated. That's just reality.
All I said was I couldn't hear you from up here. That's all. And that the wind blows the
Yeah, I
shoulders.
can't hear you from up here either. So hold on.
We like at the end.